Hello everybody, it's Van Berman here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be, testing out the DJI Pocket 3, which is quite an interesting bit of kit. And it's one of those little handheld gimbal video things, which are really cool. I mean, I'm a big fan of gimbals. I've had one before for one of my DSLR cameras, and they're pretty good. Just very heavy, clunky, all that kind of stuff, but they do give really good, stabilization. You can move around, and is it up and down as well? Up and down, and it just holds the horizon for you. I know a lot of cameras and other stuff can do it quite well, and you can also do it yourself as in your camera with cropping and that kind of thing and all that sort of stuff. But to have something that's so small and on a gimbal and potentially quite high quality, I know it's quite light. I wanted to test it out in low light and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, really, that was the whole point of me even doing this video, or the reason I am doing it, I suppose. But I figured it'd be great because I could use it for all sorts of different things. Also, probably my main source of videoing when I go away and that kind of thing as well, and just helps with walking around and stuff. And you can do great things like, please ignore the washing, but hold on. Look, we can video cats and things, which still learning it. But yeah, stuff like that, which is great, and without, I guess, it maybe feeling a bit more natural, I suppose. I've had other stuff where you can do forwards and front and rear cameras, on your phone and that kind of thing. Some phones do that. That's quite a neat feature as well. It gets both sides, which I've had some experience with. I haven't used it too much, and I guess the problem with a lot of this stuff is it kind of becomes a bit gimmicky. It was if you're really into photographs or photography, I suppose, even if you have a fairly basic camera, even a bridge camera, for example, you still have the ability to shoot good enough video, I suppose, or enhanced video compared to your smartphone. Whereas the nice thing that this thing does is it has quite a big sensor, so bigger than action cams, although of course it doesn't have the same waterproofedness, ruggedness, and ruggedness might be the big thing actually, that action cams do. But I think they work pretty well. I've still got myself I've got two Hero 3s and a Hero 4. Mainly bought them because they were quite cheap, which I think is a bit of a prerequisite for action cams, because I strap them onto my car, for example, the outside of my car, and I kind of think that's the best way to go about it, just because if it did fall off, obviously I would be upset to have lost the video and probably my memory card as well, but ultimately I haven't just attached a £250 or a £200 device to my car. I've put a £20 or a £30 device on there. So not that I don't secure it and all the rest of it, still do, but yeah, I think that there's that risk versus reward element. Whereas if you're doing more handheld stuff, particularly where you might have a wrist strap or neck strap or that kind of thing, having something like this is probably better. Is better because you have the enhanced video capability, and therefore it's a bit more, it's in less precarious positions that you can perhaps justify spending a little bit more on your equipment, I would say. But I fully endorse going down the road of old GoPros. I think they're really useful bits of kit if you want to do that kind of footage, where you can sort of take the risk and ultimately still sleep at night. I don't know, something that bothers me anyway. I'm never so sure about these accident warranty stuff that they do. I don't know whether oh yeah, I secured it to the wheel arch of my car and then it went flying off and I ran over it. I don't know whether, I'm sure they must get things like that all the time, but I don't know whether you would trust a company to honour that kind of extended, I guess it's insurance really, isn't it? But some people might be happy with that and willing to take the risk for better quality. But when you've got a GoPro Hero 4, for example, that will do doing 2.7K. I'm not sure if it'll do 4K as well. Might already even do 4K, but it does 1080p at 120 FPS. So it allows you to get like pretty good slow motion. And I know like the sensor's not as good for low light and all that sort of stuff, but the majority of times you're going to be recording it like I have done previously in the middle of the day. So, you know, you get enough light into the sensor and it's made very usable footage, or I've been quite happy with the footage that I've been able to get out of it. Whereas if I'm doing handheld and that kind of thing, I'd be looking for something to replace a bigger camera that I have. So this video wasn't actually meant to be talking about GoPros, but it turns out that it has been. And I do want to do more stuff outside with GoPros and that kind of thing. It's definitely a more summer activity, or it feels like a more summery activity to me. Probably with the SLK as well, if she's still around next summer. Strap the GoPros to her again. But, you know, I don't just do enough footage of me going out walking and that kind of thing. I did have the 360 camera, which I really liked, but I didn't use it. I find it's really weird. Like, I quite like the idea of drones and the 360 camera with like, you can have it so you're walking in third person, which I think is really like a really cool idea. And I have played around with it. I must have some footage somewhere. I'm sure I do, that I've not uploaded of that when I went to Wales the year before last. And, you know, those sort of stuff I really enjoy, but I don't like being really overt because I'm not like a hugely extroverted person. I guess you might think, well, I'm posting videos on YouTube, which is a bit further than most people, I guess. No, well, it is. But I guess there's that like big degree of separation. Whereas being out there in the wild and having a huge like tripod pole coming out the back of your backpack, or you've got like a back or chest back harness thing, it's kind of a bit of a giveaway, which is the same sort of thing that I think about with drones as well. I've had the Bugs MX3, I think MX3 drone. It's pretty good. It's like DJI clone, much cheaper. And I bought that because I thought, well, if I crash it, then it's not going to be so bad. But it's the same sort of thing, you know, like really cool features, really innovative, that kind of thing. And actually, I will show you the one I've got now that I bought over the summer. I've used it a little bit in the garden, which has been quite cool. Gets good aerial shots. Also used it because I wanted to check on the roof of the house, which I know sounds like really bizarre, but in a 3-story house, it's quite difficult to get like good pictures. Whereas the drone that I've got is the Hover Air X1, which I believe is on sale at the minute, and you can pick them up second hand. Like, okay, it is expensive, but not really that expensive for a personal handheld drone. So it's this thing here, which folds up really small, so my hand for scale, or I don't really have anything else for scale. No, I don't. But compared to my face, it's basically like a large smartphone. That's kind of how big it is. And you can unfold it, and so it folds up. I don't have any interchangeable batteries, just the one that it comes with, but it does come with batteries you can take out, which I very much like for this kind of stuff, particularly things that have like low usage time. So you get about, it says 10 minutes of flying. I'm not sure quite how accurate that is. But effectively you turn it on, you release it from your hand, it flies off from your hand. You can control it manually, manually on your phone, for example, or you can do a predefined set. So it's got some bits on here. I don't know if I can get it to focus. Yeah, so it's got some different icons on there that do, like, it'll fly around you, do like the fly up into the air and do a bird's eye view. And you can record it straight to your, does it record straight to your phone? I can't remember now. But it has an internal battery on there, and then you can download it from here to your phone. And then when you're done, you basically just put your hand underneath and the thing will land on your hand, and you fold it up and you put it away. So I guess, like, for me, that kind of, it be a little bit more, effectively a little bit more discreet, because it's only up for a very small amount of time. You can deploy it quite quickly as well. Really does reduce the embarrassment factor. I guess I never really spoke about this on video. I always thought it was kind of implied by the way my videos are. But yeah, that for me is quite important when I think about that sort of stuff. Whereas when you've got like a really big camera, it's going to sound like the opposite. When you've got a really big camera with like a really big lens or whatever, and you're trying to take some photos of birds, or you're just out like doing like a city break, for example, the camera doesn't feel that bad. The camera feels like quite normal. People know what you're doing, I suppose. It's a lot more natural and like accepted. And I think it's the same thing with the smartphone as well. If you get your smartphone out to take photos of stuff, people generally are pretty acceptable. Or it just feels less embarrassing. Whereas like doing stuff with a drone or a 360 camera kind of feels like, oh, I'm trying to advertise to everyone that I might be a content creator, or I'm a weird enthusiast. Oh, Wilfred's here. So maybe it's time to go, but before that we'll do some Wilfred footage. If he gets in camera. I think I can track onto him as well. Oh, I can. Hello. What you got to say? You saying goodbye? Oh. Yeah, Wilfred is saying goodbye, but it's doing quite a good job of tracking him. If he moves and I move, it stays with him. Tells me when he's moving out of focus and that kind of thing. And yeah, very nice. Right, well, as much as I would really love to shoot cat videos all day, I'm going to end it there. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.